This is the Ecwid e-commerce show with your host, Jesse Ness, along with Richard Otey.
Hey, RichE, how's it going?
Ready for this podcast again? Always get excited, learning something new.
Yeah, for sure. I think to get the listeners excited, what if we were able to talk about the marketing tactic that usually has the highest ROI of any tactic you could possibly do? Would you be excited?
I'd be excited.
All right. So listeners, get excited. Chase Dimond, how are you, Chase?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you guys doing?
Fantastic. We're always happy to bring on experts here to share some knowledge.
I love it. I've made a lot of mistakes, so hopefully I can help folks shortcut to success. Everyone reads that headline every year, like email marketing is dead, right? And that could not be any further from the truth. With a lot of the brands that we work with and folks that I talk to, email often is contributing about 20 to 30% of the total revenue. So it's extremely significant in terms of engagement and revenue. And it's really a tried and true channel. So I've got a lot of reasons and why I think it's attractive and why I think people should do it. But I'm just going to start with that, right? It could be a pretty sizable portion of your revenue, and it's very profitable revenue.
I think I could handle an extra 20, 30%, right? And most listeners probably could do that as well. Now, RichE and I have done plenty of podcasts where we say, yeah, you should do email, you should do advertise, you should do all these things, right? But this one is, you're going to kick yourself if you haven't done it previously. So obviously people need to get started and gather their emails. What do you think would be a next step for people to kind of get out of the gates going?
Yeah, okay. I've got 4 ideas on things I'm going to do to sell you on why you need to do email. And then we can talk about how you actually get emails in the first place. So I think one of the things that makes email so attractive is the ability to leverage personalization with email is unparalleled. On social, obviously, you can target certain ads and whatnot. SEO, sure, people are going to look for keywords, but with email, you literally can communicate with every single person on your list at every step in their journey, whether they just signed up for your list and they receive a welcome email, whether they're on your list, have added something to cart, but didn't purchase, they can receive an abandoned cart, being able to send them something about a new product launch or some kind of holiday, right? So the ability to leverage personalization is by far the best in my opinion. You have so much rich data in your email platform that's just sitting there waiting for you to tap into it. That's number one. Number 2 is it's extremely predictable. Email basically follows a similar trend. So if last month you did 20% of your revenue based on email, if you do similar things this month, you can expect about another 20% of your revenue coming from email. So based off of looking at the data of where you're at, you can predict and account for the revenue that it's going to drive. Whereas obviously top of funnel is fantastic. You need Facebook ads, you need traffic, you need TikTok, but that's a little bit more unpredictable, right? There might be kind of ebbs and flows and it might be spiky. So that's number 2 is the predictability. 3 is, you guys kind of alluded to it earlier, is the profitability. Your only real costs here are whatever you pay the email platform that you're using. And it's typically some subset of the number of subscribers you have. The bigger the list, the more that you're spending, but the more in theory you should be making. And then whatever you're using on the labor side, a freelancer, an agency, someone in-house. So it's super profitable because you've already paid to acquire these folks. And you just are paying the same amount of money every single month to your ESP, your email service provider, regardless of whether you send 1 email or 30 emails, right? So make sure you send more emails. And then the last thing to kind of sell you on the benefits of email is it's very conversion focused. A lot of times folks are subscribing to e-commerce brands or brands in general for discounts, offers, freebies. So when you put the right message in front of the right person at the right time, knowing that it's a conversion oriented channel, more often than not, these people are going to buy. For me as an email marketer, kind of worth where I sit, it's called middle to bottom of the funnel, right? So top of the funnel is traffic sources. It's TikTok, SEO, Facebook, Instagram, influencers, affiliates, right? Where I sit kind of middle to bottom of the funnel, it's typically things like email, SMS, etc. So with where I sit with email, the main way that we're collecting emails is through on-site traffic. So people are going to be visiting your website, and there's different types of forms or email collection pop-ups that we can leverage. And the 3 main types of forms is 1, a pop-up. Most of us are familiar with that. It just literally pops up in the center of the screen or even takes over the whole screen. The next one is called a flyout. It's like a pop-up, but it's a little bit less obtrusive. It normally comes out from like the bottom left-hand side of the corner. It's a lot smaller. It doesn't take over the whole window. And then the last one's called an embedded form. So that typically lives in the footer of a website or within some kind of blog or content piece. With each of those forms and kind of in general, there's different types of offers that you can kind of include. The first one is just sign up to get the latest and the greatest on our email list. It's not that exciting. So you can expect about 1 to 2% of folks to give you their email. So for every 100 people that come to your website that are not already on your list, if you tell them just to sign up, you can expect 1 to 2 out of those 100 people to give you their email. The next one is around discounts or offers. We're seeing, anywhere in the ballpark of, let's say, like 5 to 8% of people giving us their email, depending on the offer. So it could be 5% off, $5 off, $10 off, 10% off, or free shipping, right? So out of every 100 people, you can expect, give or take, about 5 to 8 people to give you their email. The last one is this thing called this enter to win. And it's enter to win a weekly giveaway, a monthly giveaway, etc. So say you're a company that sells apparel. You might say, hey, enter to win this free graphic t-shirt, win this pair of jeans. You might do the drawing weekly or monthly. And we're typically seeing that kind of in the ballpark of like 8 to 12% in terms of people actually taking the offer of getting onto your list. So again, for every 100 people, you can expect in the ballpark of 8 to 12 people. So immediately, I'm sure everyone's thinking, I need to do this giveaway. Well, let me take one step back. What I think, one, it's worth testing, but two, what we've noticed when we've tested all these different types of things, the offer, whether it's the discount or free shipping, typically has the highest conversion in terms of actually people buying, because it's the most immediate. People are typically entering their email for that discount. They're going to be shown it kind of in that message right away. They're also going to receive an email and or SMS with that code. And it's pretty easy to track and pretty quickly to track whether someone has bought or not. With the giveaway, you have to wait to do the weekly giveaway or the monthly giveaway. People are going to see whether they've won or not. Again, only one person's probably going to win. And then all the other people you have to try to convince to buy. They still will buy, at least a portion of them, but it's going to take longer. So I always kind of roll with the offer. Again, the offer doesn't have to be extreme. I'm not telling you to do 50% off, but like a $5 off, a 5% off, kind of starting at that threshold, or a free shipping offer is kind of enough to get people to give you their email.
I'd like to dive in a little bit more on that, because the easiest way, of course, is the one you get the least response. Hey, do you want to sign up for our newsletter? Maybe you get a freebie, maybe you get something. I think everybody gets that. I think everybody also gets the $5 off or a minor coupon. How would the contest work, I guess, if you wanted to go that way?
Yeah, there's a couple of ways I'm sure that you could skin it. Most of our customers are just leveraging whatever pop-up tool they're doing. A lot of the email platforms have a native pop-up tool. There's also a lot of great third-party tools. So they'll just have a specific form that's around that, let's say, weekly giveaway, right? And all those people will go into a specific list within your account that's might be titled something like a weekly giveaway. So then every week we might go in there, export those emails into a list, into an Excel file, into a CSV, right? And we might just upload those into some free site online that's going to automatically pick one person. We'll then send an email saying, hey, everyone, Jesse won. For everyone else that didn't win, here's some kind of consolation prize, right? On your next purchase, we're going to give you a free sticker. On the next thing that you buy, we're going to throw in this water bottle. We might then default to a giveaway, because obviously these people are going to be sad that they didn't win. So that's kind of the high level. As people enter into the giveaway, you're just going to kind of pick someone at random. You're going to announce, on social if you want, or just on email about who won. And then you're going to obviously get their information, making sure that you ship it. The biggest mistake you could do is promise a giveaway and not give anything away. So if you want to do the giveaway, make sure that you're diligent and that you set a reminder every week or every month or whatever that cadence is to actually do it. You're going to burn a lot of bridges if you don't follow through on that promise. If you don't have any intention of following through, just do the sign up or the discount. Don't even bother with the giveaway.
Okay. The reason I like that is that I feel like the email writes itself. So you did a pop-up, here's the giveaway. A week later, your email, you just magically type out, hey, we found a winner. Here's what they get. Here's a picture of the thing. And yes, here's a discount for all the non-winners.
I would imagine that since you are paying for them, you don't want people on your list that just want to win a free iPad.
Spot on. That's a really good call. And that's accurate to what we see. So if you sell wallets, right, you want to give away a wallet. If you sell clothing, you want to give away clothing. Otherwise, to your point, if you're giving away an iPhone, an iPad, a car, you're going to end up with a lot of people that just want to win so badly that the quality is then going to diminish, because they're going to probably start adding additional emails and fake emails and trying to refer all these friends. And then it kind of just becomes spammy. Whereas if people are coming to your site because they know you sell wallets and you're giving away a wallet that's maybe $25, $50, $100, sure, some people might game the system and might try to do something crazy, but there's a lot less incentive for them to do that with a wallet than there is like if you're giving away a Tesla. It's like, I'm going to be really incentivized to do that and I'll go to whatever lanes possible, right? To your point, that's exactly correct. Giveaways can be massive hits or misses. Most often when they're a hit is when there's alignment between what you do and what you sell and what you give away. The misalignment happens when you're trying to give away something just because it's flashy. So I think that's a great point. And to kind of draw on this. So far we've talked about selling people on email marketing. So hopefully people listening are sold at email marketing. We've now talked about how you actually collect emails and the different types of offers and how people get on your list. The next natural progression here is what do you send people once they join the list? And this is called a welcome series for non-buyers. So the way that I run this is a 4-part email sequence. And essentially the overview is these are the first few emails that the folks on your list, the subscribers, are going to receive after joining, which makes them some of the most important messages of the entire customer journey and customer lifecycle. These emails are going to really help get these subscribers accustomed to engaging with your brand via email and going to set the tone of the entire relationship. Let's talk about what each email should entail. So the first email that we're going to send is going to go out right away. So people enter the email. Let's just say they're doing a coupon, right? $5 off. We're going to say, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. And here's the $5 off that we promised. Welcome code 5, click here to buy. Something of that sort. The second email will go out 1 or 2 days after if people have not made a purchase. And this is going to be where we talk about the brand story, kind of the unique quality standards, and really what the benefits are of shopping with your company. And this email, you're going to address for the customer how you're going to benefit them. If you could do that, you're going to build engagement. And hopefully from that email or over time, you're going to ultimately get that sale. Email 3, if people again have not bought off these 2 subsequent emails, is going to be all about leveraging social proof. Social proof comes in many shapes and sizes: press mentions, customer reviews, testimonials, any kind of celebrity or influencer endorsements, any kind of retail footprint. So I'm sold in 100 Nordstroms or 500 Macy's. And then you also want to display any popular products in this email. So here's our 4 best-selling cereals, or here's our 4 best-selling t-shirts, or 4 best-selling wallets, whatever that might be. And then the last email, if you still haven't got someone to buy from you, you really want to focus on the community element, getting people to follow you on social media, follow us on Instagram, join our Facebook group, or maybe you even want to prompt them to reply to the email. If you guys have any questions, hit reply. We're going to respond and answer whatever we can. So that's kind of like the next progression, right? People come to your website, there's the traffic. We need to turn those folks into email subscribers. And then through the 4-part email sequence I just talked about, the welcome series for non-buyers, that's really how we catch them up to speed and really make our first impression with them.
Thank you for laying that out, because that's an easy format for people to follow, right? I want to pick it apart and kind of get into psychology and challenge you on it, right? So if they said, here's $5 off coupon, give us your email. So you spit back the coupon right away, giving the person what they wanted, but you didn't really add much branding there, or much, like no origin story. Tell me why I should not put my full brand story on email number 1.
On the part where I said like welcome and thank you, you do want to touch on it, right? It's not going to be this long email kind of focused specifically on that, but you do want to touch on it. So there's this company called Magic Spoon, right? They make cereals. They're not a client. They're just a brand that I followed. I think they've got great emails. In their first email, they say something like, welcome to the land of Magic Spoon. And they have like this image that's like elevated, almost looks like God is holding it. It's kind of raised up of their cereal. And kind of in this email, they talk really briefly, like 1 or 2 paragraphs about like who they are and why they matter. And then they give the discount code. So they essentially say, we set out to create this really cool cereal that's healthier and better for you. We swapped the junk for high protein, low carb, keto friendly ingredients. And here's your $5 off to try it. So it's just enough where that way you feel compelled, but not too much that you just don't read it, or all you do is read it and then you just kind of click out. It's like a 1-2 minute thing, quick punch, get people to go back to the site with the discount code, hopefully buy. So to your point, you do need to have some of it, but you don't need to be super elaborate about the story quite yet.
I feel better now. I feel vindicated, because my first email was I was going to try to lay it on thick and then of course include the coupon. That's a great format for people to follow. Can you go through the 1, 2, 3, 4 again?
Using that same example of Magic Spoon, right? So the first email was the welcome, talking a little bit about the benefits and then delivering the discount code. The second email is they had this really cool graphic that they used. And it's kind of like this comparison of us versus them. And they kind of asked this question of like, why did we grow up, but our favorite cereal didn't? And they kind of have on the left side, if you can kind of visualize this thumbs up of us. And they say, hey, we only have 3 grams of net carbs. And then on the right-hand side, they have them, and they have a finger down. They have 21 grams of net carbs. So without calling out the Captain Crunch, the Fruit Loops, the Fruity Pebbles of the world, all the cereal that we know and love, they're basically kind of doing an us versus them. And they're saying we have 3 grams of net carbs. They have 21 grams of net carbs, right? You do the quick math. You're like, oh man, all these cereals that I grew up eating and maybe still eat today have 7 times the amount of net carbs, right? And then they kind of, again, elaborate and kind of really hone in on like, what is the value for the customer? What's the value for the subscriber? And the value here is, hey, we made a cereal that not only tastes great, but it's better for you. And this means that you can eat it every single day. So we got rid of like the wheat, the corn, and the junk for high protein, low carb, keto friendly ingredients, right? So again, like you kind of see like that commonality across these emails of like, The first email, we kind of briefly talk a little bit about us. People have been to our website, they kind of know a little bit about us. That second email, right? We're kind of stringing them along a little bit of like, okay, let's get to this, right? Us versus them, such a strong comparison, and it's graphic, right? So you can kind of see it pretty clearly. And then again, they talk about we made something that's healthier. So that's email 2. Email 3 is again where we talk about the social proof and the popular product. So for them, they had this really cool GIF where this bottle of milk rotated across 4 different boxes of cereal, their Frosted Flakes version and their peanut butter version and their cinnamon version. And they have like this bottle that's spinning across this GIF, kind of just drawing you into like their top flavors. And then they really hit you with press testimonials. So I think they had mentions from like Men's Health or Men's Journal, Delish, and Fast Company or Forbes or something, really talking about how great the cereal is and how they feel better eating it because it's better for you, right? It's one thing for you as a brand to say, oh, we're so great, look at us, we're amazing. But it's another thing for these reputable sources and outlets to really back up these claims that say, hey, they are who they say they are, and we really dig it. It's just like, again, whoever produces a movie, the producer of the movie is going to think whatever he made was the best thing ever. Whereas the critics, they're going to be the ones that give you the thumbs up or the thumbs down, and the ones that are going to be a little less biased, right? So that's what we're doing here. This could come from customers, this could come from press, this could come from influencers, celebrities. There's a bunch of different shapes and sizes that this comes in. And then the last email for them is they kind of show a picture of their founders and they introduce themselves. Hey, we're so-and-so and so-and-so. We're 2 dudes that wanted to make great tasting cereal that's better for you. We were eating cereal every single day. We gained some weight because we weren't taking care of ourselves. We weren't looking at what we put in our mouths. We weren't exercising. So we really, as we were kind of picking things into gear, we wanted to make a great product for ourselves and for others. And by the way, if you have any questions, ask us anything, hit reply to this email and we'll answer.
You also alluded to something there, Chase, that might be very helpful for Ecwid listeners to sign up on other email lists and watch what happens. Watch the psychology behind it. You're signed up specifically because it sounds like you like their emails and you want to learn from what they're doing.
So spot on. So essentially what we do at our agency is we have an email that's dedicated to signing up for newsletters. So we just call it like newsletters at whatever your company name is. So newsletters at chase.com might be the thing. And we go and we just sign up for 5 or 10 brands a day. And this way, over time, you build your own swipe file, right? I never want to do it on my own email or else you're just going to kind of have so much noise. But if you have a second email that's kind of, I don't want to say a throwaway email, but a second email, let's just say, sign up for your competitors. Again, don't copy them, but look at what they're doing. If they keep sending the same offer, that offer is probably working, right? Look at how they launch products. Are they hyping it ahead of time? Are they then doing the product announcement? And then are they doing a follow-up? There's so many things that you can learn from subject lines to the preview text, to the send time, to the plain text versus the beautifully designed emails, to the offers and the call to action. So I would absolutely do that. Go sign up for as many as you can for folks that are directly competitive to you, but also sign up for folks that aren't competitive to you because you don't want to do exactly the same thing as your competitors or you all are going to be the same and there's no uniqueness. So if you're an apparel brand, sign up for a bunch of apparel companies, but go sign up for accessories, fashion, home decor, food and beverage, supplement brands. And you really build this nice swipe file over time. We talked again about collecting emails and the welcome series. I think there's 2 other flows that are really crucial for people first starting out. So the first one was the welcome series for non-buyers. And it's because people expect those emails. If they enter their email into a form and they get nothing, they're going to be confused and you're going to have a missed opportunity. The next one that I really like to preach and make sure that people have, it's what's called an abandoned checkout. Most people are familiar with the term abandoned cart. This is actually one step further in the funnel. And I'll break down this funnel actually really quickly. So if you think about almost like the reverse pyramid, the most number of people are going to be at the top of the pyramid. That's going to be your homepage or your website. And then the least number of people are going to be at the bottom of that inverted pyramid that actually check out and buy. So there's a lot of steps that happen. People, if they're interested, go to your website, they then look at a category or collection, then they look at a specific product or specific products, then they hopefully add to cart, start checkout, and buy. And where I'm really talking about right here is people start checkout, but they don't buy, right? So they're so close to buying, but maybe you didn't have free shipping. Maybe their wife or their husband or their mom or their dad in the other room, because everyone works from home now, was screaming at them for something they did or didn't do, right? And they got distracted. Maybe Slack is going off on their phone and they have to attend to something and they forgot to check out, right? So this abandoned checkout is really going to help you recover and convert some of your most engaged visitors that you're already driving to your site. It's a follow-up sequence that's sent to folks that have gone through, added to cart, gotten through a portion of the checkout, but left the site without purchasing, right? So these are folks that have heavy consideration, and we need to move them from this bucket of heavy consideration into conversion territory. So we're going to want to send 2 emails, and you can send more, but we're going to start with 2 emails. The first email here is literally just going to be a reminder of the item or the items that people left behind. And if you want to showcase trust and credibility through the form of reviews and testimonials, that's fantastic. And then the next email, if they don't buy off that first email, is going to be educating customers on what your company stands for. So kind of similar to that welcome email too, when we talk about the benefits, we're going to kind of harp on those again here. And again, remind them of the item or the items that they left behind. They left behind this gray watch. They left behind this graphic tee of this band. Whatever they left behind, we're going to remind them of it, and we're going to drop them back at checkout. So that way they can kind of just fill in their credit card details and make a purchase. This is super important that you have this. Stats will vary, but a lot of our customers and our clients, they're typically seeing anywhere from about 4 to 10% conversion rate on these emails. Say if 100 people receive this first email, they can expect about 4 to 10 purchases, right? And if your AOV, your average order value is $50, $100, right? That really adds up over time. And the more people that end up receiving these and the more that you optimize these, the better that they're going to convert and the more money that you're going to make.
You made a couple points there that are super important for people to remember. If they made it that far, the odds are they want that.
Yes.
Now it's just some form of trust or shipping. So again, the social proof would probably be great, or the shipping, right? But also I'd like to throw this out as a potential and love your feedback on this. This might be the place to be playful, to your point of, or life happened. So maybe a playful gift, whatever. It depends on your brand, what this playfulness would be. I think this would be a place to really kind of show your personality a little bit too.
Yeah, 100%. I think the humor and kind of like that personal aspect, I think that really is going to break down the barriers in the wall. And at the very least, if people don't buy, you left them smiling, you left them feeling some type of way. And when you can connect your brand emotionally to someone and how they feel, at the very least, even if it's a quick smirk or a laugh or like, oh man, these guys are so annoying, but like obviously in an endearing way, I think that's great. I consulted with a brand called The Chive on their e-commerce business, The Chivery, a couple of years back. And I don't remember exactly what it was, but I remember like they were just so like outrageous and funny of like, we saw you checking us out, right? And then they maybe had like the eyes emoji in the subject line and people are like, well, what do you mean? And then they might say like, hey, so-and-so from our team saw you checking us out. Like, we see you. We want to let you know what we were picking up. We saw you looking at these t-shirts. If you want to come back and check us out again, here's the link. And if not, come check us out again soon, right? So like, anyways, I'm kind of butchering and paraphrasing, but like having fun, I think in this sequence, but also in general, I think the more lighthearted that you are, especially throughout the past year and a half and 2 years we had, the more comedic and funny and the more relief and entertainment and education that you can provide, the more that you're going to have goodwill and the more that you're going to ultimately really build that tribe and that community around your brand.
Also, it makes you feel better about sending these emails too, right? Like if your email is, hey, looks like you left something in your cart, come check it out. You're just kind of going through the motions. By the way, if you do that, that's better than nothing, but you can definitely do better than that. Put some personality in there, be on brand, whatever your brand is.
Yeah, I think that's so important. Like a lot of people probably don't think about that or talk about that as like just having fun, right? And that oozes out. And the more fun that you're having and the more obvious that you're having fun, the more that others are drawn to you. I'm going to jump around. I want to go in order of like the next automation, but there's a couple like copywriting tips that like I want to kind of talk about because we're kind of like dancing around some of those topics. Is it cool if I share a couple copywriting tips?
Go for it.
I've been obsessed like with this concept lately of really focusing on a big idea. So your copy, and again, whether this is an email, whether this is a landing page, whether this is an ad, really making your copy revolve around a big idea. And this big idea has to be exciting, has to be interesting, has to be timeless, and it has to be relevant to the reader. At the end of the day, like products are products. We're all selling products or something. But at the end of the day, like they're not buying products. They're buying ideas and frankly, big ones, right? So how can you center this around a big idea and really make it fun and exciting and interesting? And that's kind of like what led me to wanting to share these tips. That's my first tip. My second tip is really this focus on this rule of one. So don't focus on too many things at one time. We want to make sure that we are having someone laser focused on that call to action and that thing we want them to do. Read our blog posts. That's one. And a different thing, it might be buy this product. That's two. Another thing, it might be wishing them a happy holiday, right? We need to focus on one thing. So we want to sell one idea. We want to present one idea. We want to explore one topic. We want to solve one problem. We want to share one solution. In my opinion, I think one of the most effective ways of writing copy is focusing on the rule of one. Third tip I have is write like you speak. You guys seem kind of fun and funny and playful too. So if you guys are like me, I personally hate corporate talk, right? Unless it's like a B2B business and they're very corporate and that's why I follow them. But for an e-commerce brand or a service or an InfoProctor course, write like you speak. The way that I do this is I write something and I read my copy out loud. If it doesn't feel like I'm the one talking, I rewrite it. And that for me has been a game changer, right? Like, don't try to sound smart or sound cool unless you are really cool or really smart. And that's why people follow you. But more often than not, just really be conversational in your kind of copy and in your approach. And that kind of leads to the next point is talk to a person, not a crowd. Your target should feel like this copy was written specifically for them. Again, this is applicable to email, landing pages, social, etc. And one tip that I do here that's been a game changer for me that I've never heard anyone talk about is I literally bring up my Gmail or my Outlook and I press compose. And I literally will say, okay, maybe I'm writing for this supplements brand that's selling to women 18 to 35. I'll say, hey, I know Taylor, or I know Jennifer, or I know Jamie bought from that. So I literally take that person's email or I'll just put their name in the two. And that way there's so much less pressure. I feel like whenever you pull up your email platform, whatever you use, you know it's going to go to a lot of people. And then you kind of psychologically screw yourself up. You're like, this is going to go to a lot of people. How do I make this apply to everyone? And when you try to apply to everyone, you're really making this applicable to no one, right? So I literally just pull up a Gmail tab in a window and I'm pretending that I'm writing to this one person, right? Whether that's you, RichE, or that's you, Jesse, or whoever that might be. And it comes and it flows so much more human and personal, right? So you kind of accomplish this through using you language, you avoid generalization, and you show personality. And when you do this and you sell to one, you can expect, a decent amount of sales. But if you're trying to sell to too many people, you can expect fewer sales. And then to really kind of round this out of the copywriting tips, and we'll go in any other direction. I've got a lot of random thoughts. Is this concept of like an irresistible offer. And again, this is applicable to any type of marketing in general. And what makes an irresistible offer? It doesn't necessarily have to be a 50% off coupon. That's definitely not what I'm saying, right? It doesn't have to be a discounted offer, but it's making sure that you position the service, the product, whatever it is that you're selling, that the perceived value is worth way more than the price. So your copy has to show to the prospects that they're getting a ton of value for a relatively small amount of money. Again, it could still be a $100 product. It could be a $1,000 product. We work with a big mattress company called 8 Sleep, and they sell $1,000 to $3,000 mattresses, and people are buying these. And again, they're not cheap. We're not doing discounts, but we are showing the value. You spend so much time sleeping that you really want something that's good for you and it's going to work for you, right? So just showing that perceived value is so important. So anyways, that's kind of my rant on copywriting tips.
Yeah, you could even use dictation software. Google Docs, you can go in and use that as one of the tools. Just write it out by speaking. Since you said you want to use the tone as if you're communicating via voice to somebody, why not actually do that?
I love that.
Chase, you said you had a bunch of random thoughts here. If you have a couple more we want to share.
Okay, let me then round out the last kind of core fundamental automation that you need to have set up, and then we can go in any direction. I'd love to talk about some campaign ideas and whatnot. So on the last automation, again, welcome series for non-buyers was the first. The last one I just talked about was the abandoned checkout. And the third one we want to talk about is essentially a customer thank you, some basic post-purchase. So people buy from you, you don't stop talking to them. That's when you really double down and you communicate with them. You want to show your customers appreciation by saying thank you. This is ultimately going to help strengthen the bond and ultimately reduce buyer's remorse. And in this place, you're going to want to provide them with education about your products if needed. So in the case that you sell something expensive or something confusing or a supplement and you want to teach people how to use it, provide them with education in this sequence. And then lastly, we want to get them to provide us valuable feedback and content, as well as join our community. So I'm going to talk about 3 different emails right now. The first is literally going to be a customer thank you. And all we're going to do here, and by the way, this is a really great candidate to be a plain text email from a founder or a community spokesperson, community manager. So it feels more personal. So we're going to show gratitude and really validate their buying decision. If it needs it, we're going to want to provide education that teaches customers how to use our products. So if it's a multivitamin, we want to tell them to use it every single day, either in the morning, before breakfast, or after breakfast, or with breakfast. And by doing that, that does a few things. One, it reinforces that habit that they start doing. And if they start doing that habit with your product and they get the maximum benefit, they're going to hopefully keep rebuying. And that sets up the rebuy 30 days later. We're going to send them a replenishment reminder. Hey, Jesse, hey, RichE, you're probably running out of our multivitamin. Why don't you re-up? And here's a small discount for you on your next purchase. Maybe you have a subscription, you want to get them into the subscription. So that way they never have to think again about ordering. It just auto ships to them as they're about to run out. That's the first email. The second email is a product review request. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to obviously wait until someone receives the product and has time to use it. I think that's a massive mistake that I see is people send a product review request and the people haven't even received the product, right? It's like, well, how do you want me to review something that I don't even know exists, right? I haven't touched it. I haven't seen it. I haven't tried it. One really cool thing here is after you get enough reviews on your website, you're going to want to try to send this to other platforms, whether that be a Trustpilot, so you can get a lot of social proof on a third-party review site, or even if you could have them leave a review on a Facebook post that you can then turn into a Facebook ad, man, you're going to have so much social proof. And whenever we've tested this and tried this, by having so much social proof, likes, comments, positive feedback, that helps us reduce our cost of acquisition. So many ads are just getting destroyed with people saying, this sucks, you're spamming me, I don't want to see that. Imagine if you had an ad that had dozens or hundreds of people that were like, this product changed the game for me. This changed my life. This product is amazing. I can't live without this. Whatever people are going to say, having that on an asset that can actually drive traffic for you is huge. And then the last email is really just going to be like, let us know if we can do anything to help you, follow us on social, join the community, connect with other like-minded folks, and really be a part of what we're building. So those are kind of like the last few emails in that really core sequence. Obviously, there's a universe of whole other suite of automations and flows that you could and should build out. But if you're overwhelmed and or you're just starting out, those three are going to get you through a lot of the things that you absolutely need out the gates.
I like that it's a very stepped process. If you're the owner, if you're the marketing manager, whatever, you can probably write these emails. You don't necessarily need to hire a copywriter.
Yes, absolutely. I have a couple campaign ideas. I kind of want to rapid fire at you guys, and then you guys could tell me if you want me to break it down or if we want to wrap. What we just talked about before, the welcome series, the abandoned checkout, the customer thank you, those are all automated emails, right? Those take place off some kind of action, trigger, behavior. This campaign, this is a one-time send to a group of people. Think about a product launch or kind of like holiday. So I'm going to rapid fire a couple ideas and we can break down any or all. Most people know product launches or collection launches, right? Great candidate for an email. People love these. Great way to sell people for the first time something. Great way to resell people that have bought other things in the past. Any kind of influencer or celebrity partnerships. This could be an email as itself. You know, maybe you don't have a big celebrity. Maybe you don't have a big influencer, but a micro influencer, a nano influencer, whatever they're saying, they're thinking, they're curating with you, that content's really cool to share. Every single month, there's a holiday. Make sure you get to that. There's also made up holidays every month. Some of them are going to resonate with your brand. Others of them won't. National Dog Day, I don't know, National Pizza Day, National Boyfriend Day, National Girlfriend Day, like Sibling Day, right? There's so many of these that you can touch on and leverage. Promotions and special offers, right? Are you running a flash sale? Do you have anything cool? Do you want to liquidate any old inventory that you just want to give a discount to get rid of? Educational content or social proof. This is huge. Promoting blog content, teaching people things. Is your company focused on sustainability? What's the process in which you guys actually do sustainability? Why is sustainability important for the environment and the earth? We kind of talked about giveaways a little bit earlier. You can run a solo giveaway, just your own brand, or you could partner and do a joint giveaway with other brands that have similar audiences and non-competitive products. You can do this concept of bundling. So bundles are a great way to increase your average order value by basically taking, people are only normally buying one or two things. Can you put together a bundle of 2, 3, 4 things? And by them buying the whole lot, they basically get to save some money. Gifting, right? So people either A, buy from themselves or they B, buy from other. Holidays like Valentine's Days, folks' birthdays, Christmas, whatever you celebrate. If you sell something that's like print on demand and you can create really cool stuff for the teams in the playoffs or the teams in the championship games, and then whenever who wins, you can send an email out. That could do really well. I know I said I was going to rapid fire, but I ended up kind of breaking those down pretty quickly.
That was a rapid fire list there. So it's a ton of different emails there. Like the holidays, if you're running out of an idea, there's always some sort of holiday coming up and you can do a sale for, you know, Valentine's Day sale and a sale for St. Patty's Day and what's in April? There's Easter probably. Like there's going to be a holiday coming. RichE, is there any areas you really want to dive into here? I know we're probably a little over.
I'm afraid to start diving deeper because there's so many ideas that Chase gave us. Where would you like people to go to learn more about you?
This was great. I appreciate you guys having me. Would definitely love to come back on. I love this stuff. Obviously, I could talk for hours. We don't have that, but Twitter is a really great place. So my handle is ecomchasedimond. There's no A in diamond, so it's just DIMOND. So ecom Chase Dimond there. Instagram, I'm Chase Hunter Dimond. Again, no A in Diamond. And then just search for my name on LinkedIn. So those are the 3 best places. And then I have a link in my bio on Twitter and Instagram where you can join my free newsletter. It's 100% free. Would love to have folks join that, as there's a lot of learning and cover a lot of the things we talked about today and a whole lot of net new things. So thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, Chase, love it. You have to get people onto your email list. Like, you're an email guy, so I appreciate that tie in there. Really appreciate you being on the show. I think we covered a lot of great ground. Like RichE said, anybody listening here, you know the steps and you know how to write the emails. There should be no lack of ideas. So for all the listeners out there, all the merchants, get out there and make it happen. Bye, everybody.
Hey, this is Jesse and Rich. We want to let you know we really appreciate you listening.
We hope you find the tips we give you helpful for growing your business.
You can find all of our past episodes and a lot more useful stuff at ecwid.com/podcast.
And also, check us out on your favorite podcasting platform like Apple Podcast or Stitcher. And make sure you never miss an episode by subscribing.
Be sure to let us know what you think by rating and reviewing so we can serve you better.
So subscribe on your favorite platform.
And come join our community, check out the transcripts, or tell us why you would be a great guest at ecwid.com/podcast.